Okay, in this video, we're going to take a look at the actual process, the step-by-step process here for content collection, schema writer, execution, and ultimately Yak's execution. So we'll take a look at this now. When we get a new project in from a client or we're ready to start an in-house project, this is where we come to, and this is uh, the all of the VAs have access to this, but it's really for the manager to get everything started. So the first step is to onboard the new client, use this sheet for documentation. So this takes us to the client documentation sheet, and this is in the templates folder that you saw in one of the previous videos. So, and then all they have to do is fill out all of this information. I'm just going to close that up here. There's no video for it because I tell them, I've already told them once on how to make a copy of all those templates and move it into a client folder. So I didn't bother to do a video on it. The notes here say this will provide you GMB, NAP, and website information, and download and or keep a copy in G Drive. We use G Drive. Yeah, you may want to use something else, but we find it pretty easy. And then we have, if this is an affiliate project, then here's another step that you got to do beforehand. So this is the list of all templates that we need for each project, and you'll recognize this from a previous video. So we just make a copy of all these and put them in a new client project folder, like I mentioned before. And then the next step is create a new Gmail account for the client project that we're going to use in the Yaks process. We use a different Gmail for each different Yaks project. It helps us do a lot of things. We have to have a Gmail if we're going to do citations. Okay, and we do citations, not for every project, but for all of our in-house projects we do. But the clients usually have that, but we still need this Gmail. So we do create that, and I ask them to document the emails here, and that comes to this is an in-house sheet that we have inside the agency, and we just keep a list of all these because we actually use these emails for other purposes too. So this is how many Gmails that we have and we are actively using. We mainly use these in our CTR process, our manual CTR process, which is something you may want to look at doing too a little later on. But to have everything documented and organized, again, like I said in the first video, it's imperative because this process has so many steps and it's so complex. Everything has to be organized, and you have to be able to find everything in order to be able to switch VAs from doing one thing to another, or from one doing it and posting it, getting ready for the person who's actually doing the execution on the software. And then new client setup. So we copy the template folder, rename it for the client. I've got a video for that. And this is an unlisted video.
Okay, in this
Where
video, we're going to go over.
I explain the setup process for the client for this part. And that way there's no question. I don't have to do it. And so it makes it real easy to manage. Kind of lifts the load off you and puts it onto the VAs, which is what they're getting paid for. So, and then the next step is if this is a new project for an existing client, you do it this way. So that's a different video on how to do it just a little different way. So the GMB Everywhere audit, which I told you about, this is just a link, just in case they need some instruction or need to know something on their first few go arounds, they can click here and get information for it without having to ask me about those details. So we'll scroll over a little bit here, and then here's where I show them how to perform the GMB Everywhere audit. So there's a video for that. GMB Everywhere audit information and where it's stored. So there's a video for that and how to store it. And this is where I'm showing them the two different ways that or two different formats that we want to store this information. This is a Google Sheet, so and this is the format that we'll use when we're publishing in Yaks. And you see later on, I'm in a spreadsheet here, and we use this format to input things into Schema. So that's an example of how detailed that I go into this, because when I give my VAs a new project, I don't want them asking me process questions. This is the process. All you have to do is execute it. Don't come ask me what folder should this document be in. We don't want to know that. I don't want to fool with that, and I know nobody else does either that has a team. That those are things that they should understand after the first couple of times and should never need to bother you with it again. And then I show them an example of what the GMB Everywhere audit looks like. And you'll probably recognize that from the previous videos. And then we generate a keyword list using Keywords Everywhere. Again, this is a Chrome extension. It's really cheap, and we use it, but it's good to a certain point, and then we have to do some cleanup on it. And I've got all of those steps documented. So here is um, what to do, and then here's the training on it. I just grabbed this from the owner of uh, Keywords Everywhere, Google Keywords Everywhere. And I've got his videos here because, frankly, they're just as good as anything I could do. There's nothing that I could add to them. And then once we finish these steps out, we'll come back over here and we'll start organizing keywords in the Google Drive project folder. So this is soup to nuts, soup to nuts. And here is another video showing them how to organize everything. And you'll probably recognize this spreadsheet because we went through it. It was called content batch batch content aggregation, where we've got our keywords, clean keywords, the original keyword list, our entities, and all that stuff. So, and then here's keywords, topical entities, geolocation entities, and this goes to the sheet. Okay, yep, you saw that. So there's our keywords, clean keywords, and all of that. That should look familiar to you. So we've really put it together so that it flows well for the VAs, because when they're working in English as a second language, and things are hard enough in the SEO processes as it is. So I spelled everything out down to the letter. So keyword list cleaning process with ChatGPT. I've got a little video here that shows them exactly how to do it. And the video is 3 minutes 20 seconds, and it's really easy. I allow them to use ChatGPT because English is their second language. They cannot sort or clean a keyword list. They don't have enough command of the English language in order to do that, and I don't want them interrupting me every time I send them out to start a new project. I've got other higher level stuff that I need to be doing. So we changed over, and instead of them sending me their keyword document to clean it up, I send them to Chat GPT and let Chat GPT clean those up, and it does a good job. This is not rocket science. So, and there's the batch work content aggregation. So I take them over here and let them see an example here and give them, well, actually, this is an SOP. And in this SOP leads to other videos and tutorials, and it tells them everything that they need to put inside that document in both formats, in both the sheet format and the HTML format in Google Docs. So, and we keep this up to date. Anytime we make little changes, I don't like to omit things because the more association you can give Google, the better off your properties are going to do. It includes your website and your GMB. And I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. If you're watching this video, you already know all of this. Um, which output from batch work can we add to Schema Writer, SW Schema Writer? And that is this list right here. And this is just for reference only, but we put a lot of this stuff in here. This is everything that you would have seen on that spreadsheet that I showed you earlier, and everything in this SOP list. And GMB Everywhere Audit, Wikipedia information, also stored in a Google Doc to preserve links. So we're keeping it in two different formats because we used them two different ways. One goes in schema and one goes into publishing in Yaks. And then this is just a kind of a note. We want to iframe all of this content, and you've already seen this. Social profile links, service pages on a client's website, the about page, the home page, iframe all the citations, the service area pages, service area maps. We have that naked link, and then we have that iframe, so on and so forth. A minimum of 10 driving direction maps from POIs to the client GBP location. Image links, all of those naked links and all those iframes. We put them in iframes again so that we can um, publish them on Yaks, and we have them in naked link format so that we can put them into the schema and create that association that Google loves to see. And there's all the reviews. So this is just a list of things that you've already seen before, and it's covered in a video. Uh, so, and um, let's see, where am I here? There are videos for all of this. So here we've come to schema generation and schema writer work. Now we're mixing schema writer and Yaks because we have to do, we got to set up the project, and then we got to collect some of the content. Then we got to go to schema writer, and then we've got to get the output of schema writer and put it in our storage folder. And so we mix things up here. And in this list, in this SOP, we go to super detail and the super detail. So in this step, we're going to add company information to the brand text field. And this is right now, I'm talking about inside Schema Writer. We go set the company information up after we've collected it all. So just to do this one step,
Okay, we're going to go over the.
I've got a 17-minute video here that includes every little detail about adding the company information into the brand text field inside Schema Writer. This is unbelievably detailed. Adding backlinks to the company information schema. I've got a video on that. Look, it's 8
Okay, in this
minutes.
video,
Go into super detail on these things. Collecting keywords and cleaning them. Okay, and there's that sheet
Okay,
again
we're
that you probably recognize. And so I'll walk them through the list of pasting the keywords and then how to clean the keywords in GBP and come back and paste them here because the person who's actually doing the execution in Schema Writer is going to need to be able to have access to these without having to go get them themselves. So it's a very efficient process. Uploading keywords to Schema Writer via CSV, I have a video on that, and I explained every detail in 4 and 3/4 minutes here, and collecting topical entities and uploading them to Schema Writer. So you can see we've got step by step by step. This is a 9-minute video, and it covers every single detail. I do not get questions on this process from any of my VAs. Now, not every VA does this, but you've got your people that you can trust to some of the people you can trust to follow instructions and they're savvy enough to understand some of the nuances, but maybe not all of them. And that's what all of these detailed videos do for second language English as a second language VAs is shows them the nuances of how everything works. And I try to do everything in a scientific way so that they don't have to understand, they just have to follow the process. And so here's another one: editing keyword schema. Number 3 video, editing keyword, editing knows about schema is a 4th video. Editing mentions schema. I go into editing the product schema and how to put it in. Each
okay in this video.
each one of these sections that you see here has its own video because I need to take the nuance out of it and give them a process to use. And that's where ChatGPT comes in pretty handy. It can do things that they can't do. If you give it a 4-letter key phrase, or a three, just say you give it a three, if you give Chat GPT a 3-letter key phrase, and then you give it a long list of 1,000 key phrases, and you can tell it to narrow all that down to only the key phrases that include this base key phrase. And that takes a lot of the work and anxiety away from the VAs because English is their second language and they don't always understand. They don't always get it right. And now I don't have to go back and check it. So it's saving me a ton of time as well. So here we're going to transition what's next with your schema. And so I'll walk them through what's going to happen next in the process with the schema and just give them a heads up so that they will better understand what's going on in the next video. Just more and more and more detail. And then schema implementation on the homepage of the website. That'll be organizational and company schema. And then there's a different video. I'm in the middle of not correcting, but updating some of these videos so they're not present here. Um, Implementing the schema on the service and service area pages and implementing schema on blog posts. I've yet to get these two updated, but that is the level of detail that we're going into. And then Yaks, I've got this in another process, but on another sheet, and this video is already long, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. But the Yaks process is just the same as the schema writer here. We address every single section on Yaks based on the content that and information that we've gathered in the gathering process and show them exactly how to put it in and it's the same level of detail as this. Much easier because the person who's doing the execution in Yaks is probably going to be a little bit more um, advanced than the people who are collecting your content. So, but the level of detail is there enough that you don't have to worry about anything and you don't have to answer a lot of questions. But this is a long video, so I'm going to end it here instead of going through those. And then we've got an indexing process and then set up ranking tracker, rank tracking for the pages that we're sending Yak stacks to, and then citations. This is a whole process we've got, and you saw that spreadsheet. So, which will be part of the Yaks package or part of the schema writer package, one or the other. And then I go into, we've got SOPs for going into managing websites with a tool called Session Splitter, connecting Search Console with SEO utils, and a lot of things. So I've got a lot of processes that are super detailed, and I don't think you'll go wrong with this. I think it's going to make your life really easy. And we will also get you into the Facebook group, the private Facebook group, so that I can help support you and your VAs should they have any questions. So, all right, we'll wrap it up right there. I'm going to show you one more video and kind of tie all of this together and show you while we're collecting all this information, while we're saving it and the formats we're saving it. And we'll get to that in just a second.